What's going on, guys? Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas back with you on the Just Weather channel. Hope everybody is doing well tonight. We talked about this for the last 2 weeks now. We have been forecasting this major pattern flip that would bring winter to the west. Now, if you're watching in Denver or Salt Lake City, maybe Rapid City or parts of Idaho into Montana, you might be wondering, okay, where is it? Yours is coming as we get deeper into this week. We're going to highlight that as well. And I also have the latest video that I did earlier this afternoon highlighting the west to east progression of this storm system and these rounds of storm systems that are coming through. This is kind of the first gasp, and we are tracking this first for California into Nevada, into parts of Idaho, and into Washington, into Oregon as well. So kind of like strung out like a string bean system all up and down the West Coast. If you are just tuning in tonight, we are taking a live look at Angels Camp, California, higher up in the mountains, and then also Eugene, Oregon. You can see some ominous looking clouds there in Eugene back off into the distance. We're going to track these storms that are rolling through. You'll notice lightning strikes being detected by our lightning detection network into the mountains. There is some big time snow coming down in the mountains east of Fresno right now. So some very, very intense snow rates falling. Do me a favor, if you are just tuning in, post in the comments where you're tuning in from, and we can kind of bounce around to wherever you're watching. Also in the box, we'll take a look at these. We have storm reports coming in. We had hail about the size of pennies, 0.25 inch size hail. Spotter reporting pea-size hail there, excuse me, and 40-mile-per-hour winds in Fresno, also in Fresno. And it's from this cell right here. That one just came in. So this cell that produced some hail in Fresno is kind of moving up the mountains and transitioning into some pretty heavy snowfall. You see all the lightning strikes there. So again, getting the hail report from Fresno, 40-mile-per-hour wind gust as well, also from Fresno. What's going on, TJ? Colville, Utah tonight. We'll zoom out and take a look at Utah. It's not as active, but we are going to get there for sure, I think, as we get into the week ahead, and we'll take a look at Utah coming up. But if you're just joining us tonight, this is the beginning of the major pattern flip that we've been alluding to for about the last 10 days. So some crazy stuff here. Look at this to the west of Carson City. That is snowfall rates 1 to 2 inches at least per hour. And some very heavy snowfall around Stockton, Modesto, Merced, and then Fresno, we just picked up that hail coming through. I want to show you this because we do have some people tuning in from Utah. Also, shout out in Arizona. What's going on, Ron, tonight? I want to show you kind of the forecast progression of this whole entire system. Let me turn my banner back on here so you can actually see the timestamps going forward. But this is all the start of the wild pattern change again that is coming on the pipeline. Okay, so let's take this future radar out in time. Here we go into Tuesday, and you kind of see this spreading back forward. This is stopping Wednesday morning. So Utah, Nevada, Arizona, we start to get in on a little bit of that. That's 8 o'clock on Wednesday morning. But this is kind of the push number 2. You see more heavy rain in the lower elevations and heavy snow in the higher elevations getting into Arizona. This is 10 o'clock in the morning on Thursday now. We have some lower elevation snow in parts of Utah, Wyoming, Nebraska. That's a secondary system that's developing. And then you continue to see that moisture rolling right on down the California coastline. This is on Friday. So this is kind of the third system now. And this is where we really start to get it. So mention, if you saw the previous video, that it was going to be at the end of this week and then into the weekend. That's where we start to get this into the Rockies, into the Wasatch Front, into the mountains near Flagstaff or in Flagstaff. And then you see the rain around Phoenix, just north of Tucson as well. So this is what's going to help us. Lake Powell, we have record low numbers right now. While this is not going to erase everything, we need to take anything that we can get. Lake Mead also running pretty low. So we'll take what we can get. And again, that is going to continue. I think even beyond this, here comes another one right down the California coastline or to the West Coast. Look at that. nice big upper low. And that is just going to be the kind of the continuation of this going forward. This kind of sets the tone here. This is going to be the precipitation outlook. This is going out all the way into early March. So we have these rounds of rain coming, and snow in the higher elevations. We like that. We need more, but we certainly like that. I know a lot of comments in the videos, having the conversation with you guys. And if you're finding us for the first time, let me know. Post in the comments where you're tuning in from. Let me know if you're finding the channel for the first time. We talk all things weather and a little bit of cool astronomical stuff. If you like some of the stuff, the space stuff, like eclipses and things like that. And we get into the nitty gritty without all the hype and garbage that's out there on YouTube. But again, ending February, we should keep things pretty active. What's going on from Mount Rainier? Awesome part of the country. We are included in that dark green right on down the Cascades there. So it's going to be good stuff if you are a fan of the moisture. And judging by the comments of the videos, a lot of you guys have been rooting for winter. It's been terribly warm out there for recreation skiing. That's going to change. So we're watching this now. This is kind of number one working its way through. And I want to show you the water vapor imagery of this because it's pretty spectacular. Here's the water vapor imagery, and you see all that moisture kind of surging through that little swirl right there. What's going on? Thanks for coming back. I appreciate you. But the wild stuff in through here is the amount of lightning that is happening. So there's some thunder snow going on in the Sierra right now. And there's all that moisture sliding up into Nevada, giving us some good mountain snow. So we will take that. So I want to show you this. And let's actually, before I get too deep in the weeds with some of the forecasting stuff, let's just check. I have this looping at the bottom of all my windows here. And if you're just joining us, we're taking a live look tonight from our friends from WeatherStem, Angels Camp, California, where they are getting rocked with some super heavy rain tonight. And then Eugene, Oregon, where it's a little quieter, but that is going to change. Look at some of these storm reports. 59 mile per hour gust in Summit, Utah. 4.9 inches of snow in Stevens, Washington, and then Fresno getting rocked by that one cell. This coming in, all these are Eastern time, by the way. So we'll just subtract 3 hours. So at 4:51 in Fresno, we had storm spotter report 40 mile per hour winds and then pea-size hail. And then there comes the hail report to go with it. So it's pretty crazy. What's going on, Liam in Houston? Good to see you on the chat tonight. Pretty toasty for sure, and it is going to get even toastier. Over the next couple of days, we are going to kind of transition into the east. Hey, what's going on, Freethinker? Good to see you as always, my friend. Just this wild pattern change. If you caught the video last week, and thank you to all of the new subscribers, and welcome to all the new subscribers. We highlighted this about 2 weeks ago, that we would see the east was freezing, the west was warm and dry, that we would flip this pattern. And one of the reasons why how we caught that is we looked at some of the teleconnection. So if you like to get into the nitty gritty, and if you like to see how the atmosphere works with that, and we can kind of look at some of the pattern changes deep into the future, it's one of the things that I love to do. You come to the right place. Of course, we also forecast these events as they happen. Hit that subscribe button. Would love to have you guys on the team. Your storm reports and weather reports are awesome to get across the country, get to meet people otherwise I would never have met. So thank you guys for making this channel what it is and making it fun. That's tomorrow. This kind of pattern holds going forward. Now, the other part of this, and we get into it a little bit deeper in the video, there is a day 4 outlook as part of this. So if anybody tuning in from the Ohio River Valley, St. Louis, Southern Illinois, Marion, Illinois, Evansville, Indiana, Indianapolis, Bowling Green, Lexington, Covington, this is where we have that day 4 severe risk. So it's pretty rare to get a day 4 in severe weather season. It's even a little more rare to get a day 4 outlook. Typically, if you're not aware, the Storm Prediction Center issues these day 1. That's the slight, moderate, enhanced, high, not in that order. But but those kind of outlooks. And then there's the day 4 through 8 where they had the 15% or 30% or higher. So to get a 15% day 4 in February in that part of the country, like in the Ohio River Valley, is pretty significant. And it's going to be because of this system sliding through. And again, post in the comments where you're tuning in from, because if I do have people joining from California, I do want to get back out to the West and Arizona and Montana and Utah and Nevada, and Washington, Oregon, where we do have that heavy rain. But I also have the radar and the storm reports kind of looping down there. The power outages are going up like crazy in Southern California as well. Now 17,500 there in the box looping. Also have it broken down, by county, so you can see where those power outages are coming. But here's the deal. Could get a little spicy. This is Thursday afternoon. So again, 4 days from now. But what this setup shows, there could be a really ugly severe weather event. And I think we are going to see, at least judging by our in-house high resolution model, all of these guys here, those have the chance to be supercellular from about Fort Wayne, Muncie, Bloomington. So as we get closer and have a better idea of where the actual surface features like that warm front and the cold front set up, then we're going to see that kind of shaded area that I showed you before. That's going to either expand or contract or spread out and get a little more concise as we do that. But right through Kentucky, you also see that as well. Michelle's asking, is Central Florida going to get some rain anytime soon? Last night was our best shot for a while. It did do a number on the Central Florida drought. And if you're interested on that, I'm going to post in the comments. You should follow News 6. You should follow that, News 6, Click Orlando, because I have a show coming up at 9:30 Eastern time that focuses right on Central Florida and Florida. Did you see that? Angels Camp, California? Did you see that? We had that lightning strike there. That is very, very close to where we were just watching that storm around Fresno. Let's get back to the actual radar now and look at that lightning strike. The camera, let me zoom in on the coordinates of the camera. It's right in through here. That's where the camera is. So it's probably with that guy right there that produced the lightning strike, waiting for the computer to catch up and show where that lightning strike actually was. But some crazy stuff going on right now in California. And again, this is what the doctor ordered. It had been a while since we've seen kind of your straight up atmospheric river setup like we are seeing right now to give us this push of moisture that we desperately need. And that is continuing for us. I don't think it's going to snow in Texas. No indications of some snow. And the storm track should stay. The storm track should stay to your north. So I don't think there's going to be a ton of. I don't think there's going to be a ton of super active weather coming to Texas right now, as we are in the pattern where all the active stuff is just towards our west. And if you're just joining us tonight, post in the comments where you're tuning in from. Thanks so much for being here, as we're just kind of shooting the breeze about the weather and tracking this super high impact system working through Southern California into the Cascade, or into the Sierra, I should say. Look at all the lightning popping up in the mountains. Certainly some thunder snow. And this is going to be welcome. I wish I had a camera right there where we had some of the thunder snow. We had some thunderstorms caught by this Angels Camp, California. camera right there. So it's definitely putting out some big thunder and lightning for sure. But as far as Texas is concerned, we should be on the quieter side, relatively speaking, for a little bit of time. We also have this is another part of this big pattern change is we have winter storm watch in play. And this is going to expire on the 19th at 1 o'clock in the morning. So we also have these kind of little ripples in the atmosphere that are going to bring us some super active weather. So let me get my banner back on here and just show you what is actually going on and why I believe this is just the start of this much needed pattern change. So here's the jet stream. I know there's a lot of colors and lines and things like that, but here is the main flow, just like this. So this is why I think we're going to be quiet in Texas. We have high pressure building right there, and that's also why we're on the warmer side. It should stay pretty cold right up in through there into the Northeast and into New England. But now, where all the cold was focused over here, the dip in the jet stream is allowing all the cold now to kind of slosh right on down in between the Sierra and the Cascades and the Rockies. And that is why we should have some lower elevation snow in addition to that. So as that slides in, we're going to keep this parade of storms rolling through. So wait till we get to our next stop line. There comes number 2, and it's right here. This is Saturday, and this is why also somebody mentioned before, like, hey, we're only expecting a little bit of snow in the Cascades. Right here, now the jet stream is oriented like this. So now all of this moisture coming in from the Pacific is going to blast the Cascades. So that happens late this week, early into the weekend. And then that also gives us good snow in the mountains of Montana, Idaho, into Wyoming, and in parts of the northern Rockies in Colorado. So cool channel names say, I do cringe a little when hearing or reading atmospheric river. I'm fine with just calling it rain. So the issue with that is, and yeah, it's rain, but it's an actual meteorological setup. So it's not like it's hype. It is an actual meteorological phenomenon. And I'll show you what that is. Let me load up the water vapor because that will tell the story. And what happens is, let me switch my map. Let me go to the goes west to get on the western satellite. That is the super high res. There we go. So see this right here? There's where our area of low pressure is kind of spinning back through. Now, why it's called an atmospheric river is because it looks like it's a river in the atmosphere from the satellite perspective. And it actually transfers more water than what the Mississippi River would transfer on a daily basis. So right through here, this is the moisture coming right up. So all of this is the river of moisture in the atmosphere. So it's an actual phenomenon like a hurricane, like a nor'easter, like a whatever. It's an actual meteorological term. It's an actual meteorological setup. So it's not cringy. Sometimes people might use it that way, but you're only going to see it here on this channel when there's an actual atmospheric river setup. So that's what's going on here. That's why it's an atmospheric river. So again, it's not supposed to be a cringy term. It's not supposed to be a cringy term. It's an actual term. If that makes sense. So yeah, and this is how we get it with these upper lows kind of rolling through here. So the atmospheric river then, by the time we get to the weekend, will then kind of focus its fire hose towards the Pacific Northwest. And this is a really good example. So when we talk again in these videos leading up to it, here is the low right there. And then we are going to see this ribbon of moisture stream on up. There's another kind of term you might hear a lot in addition to atmospheric river called the Pineapple Express. And that is whenever that ribbon of moisture that I showed you right now on the water vapor imagery extends back down towards Hawaii, the pineapple state. So that is why we get that. So here's Hawaii out here. So um we might have that pineapple express setting up for the Pacific Northwest over the weekend. So that would be your kind of typical there is the moisture plume is literally going to stretch back thousands of miles towards Hawaii. So some cool stuff there. And that is again going to help our snowpack in the Cascades and the moisture in the lower levels. Hey, Eric, I appreciate you tuning in so that I get to share the passion with you guys. And I know a lot of you guys are also passionate about the weather as well. And that's why this channel exists. So if you like that stuff, if you like BSing about the weather, tracking the weather, you come to the right place. I need storm reports all the time from across the country to help this channel grow. And we're super active in the chat, unlike most other channels on YouTube that are just in it for the clicks and for the money and the fear mongering and all that BS. So if you like that stuff, join the team. Hit that subscribe button. Shameless plug. But it's also nice to hear what's going on across all corners of the country, especially when we have this impactful weather going on, so we can kind of share it in the community page or with shorts and reels and all that stuff. So thank you guys for joining into the live stream tonight. We do this every Monday night, whether it's completely quiet or there's something active, and that's about 8:30 to 8:45 start time every single Monday. So thank you guys for tuning in and checking out the channel. Let me know if you're finding the channel for the first time. It'd be cool to see who's tuning in. All right, so let's get back out to the actual radar now. Let me switch this back to the radar instead of the water vapor, and that's the cool thing too. We also have some snow going on in upstate New York, a little bit of a wintry mix, some light rain around Buffalo. It's nice to have rain for a change rather than just getting crushed with snow. It's been a wild winter in the Northeast. There we have some snow coming through Ottawa, some light snow across northern Minnesota, some very light stuff. From Grand Forks back towards the lakes, just north of Bemidji. And then let's zoom in on Idaho. We need some moisture. We have a little bit coming in. I was talking to somebody in the chat from Idaho, and we're finally going to get some snow. We have some light stuff coming in. And again, your time in the Cascades is coming late this week into the weekend. So you're just going to get a little bit of stuff going on right now. Nothing too crazy, but you are going to get more moisture coming through over the next week to 2 weeks. Again, I think we're ending February on a very, very active note for sure. How old is the term? I don't know how old the term thunder snow is, but I mean it's been thundering and snowing tail as old as time. So I'm not sure how all that stuff comes to be. So we have a new special weather statement in Fresno now, and that's because for the Fresno County, it's northeast of the city of Fresno. But this is the one that we've been watching for quite some time that has put some hail down and produced a 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And now it's kind of moving into the higher elevations of the moisture associated with it anyway. So it's still packing a punch tonight. You see there, that is into effect until that's going to be 6:15 local time, 9:15 Eastern time. What's going on in Hammond, Indiana? You guys are going to be having to watch for a severe weather threat on Thursday. So we got you guys covered. We're going to have more in our daily videos coming up tomorrow. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe as we watch these kind of ripples work their way across the country, these big time systems here. Golfing Ferdy's heard thunder snow twice growing up in Chicago. Cool channel name watching from north of Tampa. Got some good rain, at least across parts of the Sunshine State this weekend. Don't recall having lightning and thunder during snowstorms as a child. It's most common in the mountains because you get the aggressive lift from the mountain or along the Great Lakes. That's really where you get the thunder snow because there's so much instability. The cold air going over the relatively warm lake, that's where you get the real big stuff happening for sure. So that is exactly where you get the thunder snow from. Those are the two big spots anyway. The mountains and then off the Great Lakes. Taking a look at Eugene, we have a live look there. Looks like we have a nice little cloud forming there, almost like a little thunderstorm trying to get going. Probably looking more at that. That is right on the University of Oregon's campus where that camera is. And of course, it goes black as I start talking about it. The other one we'll watch, and every now and then we see a lightning strike around Angels Camp, California. That is just to the north of that cell. We'll see if we get Eugene back. That's just to the north of that cell that we were looking back before. Yeah, Lake Erie is almost completely frozen, so their lake effect season kind of shutting down until they get some of that stuff to melt. No, your Lake Ontario, I think, is hard to freeze because it's deeper than Erie. But yeah, Lake Erie is almost frozen. I think it was like 90 something percent. There go the lightning strikes. We are way up into the mountains now of California. This is going to be northeast of Fresno. Look at that come through. A special weather statement in play. Look at that. It's always fun when you have a special weather statement because of a strong storm and it's snowing. You don't see that too often, but in this kind of situation, we do, where you have that storm kind of climbing the mountains a little bit. The lightning is getting a little bit less as it runs into the resistance from the mountains. But nonetheless, that special weather statement in play for another 3 minutes. I don't think we would see one reissued. And again, that special weather statement is it's kind of like hey, it's not bad enough to have a warning on it, but it's noteworthy enough that, hey, we got some gusty winds and the potential to produce some low end damage there. So that's why the Weather Service tagged that with a special weather statement coming through. We do have some power outages starting to mount. Let's take a look at that. The state power outages, this is the total. So this is coming in from the state now. As a whole, we have 12,500 power outages. Obviously, California, big state. So the cool thing is we have the ability to single that out by area. And you might imagine, again, we just had that storm come through the Fresno area. So we do have some power outages there. Let's click that out. About 900 in Fresno County. Hey, what's going on, Shotwell? Lawn Care just tuned in. Any tornado warnings so far? Not since we've been on. I've not seen any tornado warnings come in from California. There was a low end shot with that swirl there of the upper low, but I have not seen any tornado warnings. And certainly since we've been on over the last hour, we have not had any come in. I'll show you the water vapor imagery, though. We'll go back out to Goes West channel satellite, and you can see the spiral here. It's really, really cool. But there's that spiral. If you look very, very closely, that curl right there. And that is what's sending all the moisture back up into Nevada, into Idaho, the west side of Utah. Yep, you're 100% right on that, Karina. Says, heard some places are having snow and thunder, but I think 2 or day ago had a tornado watch. It's wild. And again, a major pattern change like this will do that to you. There's the clash of the air masses coming through. Go back to the U.S. radar. And if you're just joining us tonight, if you're finding the channel for the first time, welcome. I'm Jonathan, by the way. I'm actual meteorologist. And we made this channel because of all the garbage that has started to erupt on YouTube and social media. So I'm a straight shooter, give it to you straight. And we track these storms. We talk about the weather. This is a growing weather community that we just have the weather conversation. So if you're interested in that stuff, I need your guys' weather reports, whether it's sunny, whether it's stormy. I ask for them all the time. You guys help make the channel what it is, and you guys help tell the storm. So if you want to be a part of this growing channel, this growing community, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Would love to have you on board and to join the team. Cool channel name says Florida Lightning is like dynamite. Yeah, Florida Lightning is no joke. It is crazy. Lightning capital of the U.S. Although Oklahoma did beat us this year. I'm based out of Central Florida. Oklahoma did beat us this year in terms of the Lightning capital for 2025 when it comes to the United States. We will see if Florida reclaims that title. Let's take a look at how much moisture has fallen. Now, the green that I'm up here, all of this is snow. Let me stop this loop here. So over the past 6 hours, the radar is estimating an inch of liquid. Now, typically, on average anyway, it doesn't always work like this, but 1 inch of rain equals 10 inches of snow. So that would argue for upwards of a foot of snow. We're probably getting ratios better than 10 to 1 in the mountains here. So, right on schedule. Right on schedule. The forecast, it doesn't always work out, but we called for this 2 weeks ago that we would have this major pattern flip that would bring winter to the West. And as some of you guys have pointed out in the comments and on the live streams when we have talked, it's not really coming back because it really never started. But I do truly believe that if you've been rooting for some snow in the West, especially for the ski resorts and to help the water, the aquifer situation, that is coming back. And we're in like a dire need down here towards the Lake Powell watershed. We need some big time help. We're going to get some, not a lot, at least comparatively speaking to the West, California, Cascades, but we do have something coming down the pipeline. Speaking of coming down the pipeline, as I have about 5 minutes left, because then I have to go do my other streaming show that is focused on Florida. And if I have anybody tuning in from Florida, check out the News 6, Click Orlando, WKMG page on YouTube. That is where we stream every single night, Monday through Friday at 9:30 about the weather in the state of Florida. But in the last couple of minutes we have here, this right here is going to be some of the one of the main focuses, as well as what's going on in the West and how this pattern is going to hang on for quite some time. Is this growing severe threat? Now, if you're just joining us, we talked about this before, that it's rare for a day 4 outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. So if you're not familiar with what the Storm Prediction Center does, they issue these day 1 through 3. And that's where you see the iconic marginal, slight, enhanced, moderate, high. That's what they do days 1 through 3. Then day 4 through 8, we have this. This is the severe risk for day 4 through 8. Now, this is for day 4 on Thursday, but they'll do 15% or 30%. It's rare that you get confidence high enough to have something highlighted in day 4. And it's really rare in this part of the country, right along the Ohio River Valley, to get something like this at this time of the year. So we're going to be watching this super closely. If you're interested in staying up to date with this, hit the subscribe button, because we're going to have a lot more on the growing severe weather threat across the Ohio River Valley in our videos leading up to this on Thursday. So you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. There's also this winter storm across the north. This is born out of the same deal. This is going to be the snowfall forecast across the upper Midwest and northern plains for the next couple of days. Let me change my model on this. Get this back to the morning runs. We have the most up-to-date stuff. And this is the other section. Again, all brought on by this pattern change, but a nice stripe, actually twofold here. This is through Friday. There we go. that'd be some nice snow across the northern tier of the country. And here again, this is kind of, I outlined this in the video. This is through February 20th. This is through Friday. I mean, we'll take it. The highest elevations of the Rockies, pushing 2 feet of snow. And then I do think that we're going to get even more over the weekend. That's the deal. I'm curious to see if any water spouts will happen. 100% correct about the amount of online garbage regarding the weather. Thanks for the time. We appreciate you. I seriously, no, I appreciate you taking the time out and joining the stream. It means a lot, seriously. Thanks for being here, because again, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys and the support you've given and the storm reports and the conversation we get to have. So I'm having fun doing this. I hope you guys are having fun and in getting something out of these streams and the videos and everything. So I appreciate it. It's a lot of snow out there. And again, that's only through Friday. We reload again and we do it all again. Let me see if let me take this out even further. While we're just hanging out, let's take this out through Monday. Same kind of deal. So if he's asking about, would be nice how much melt the water snow makes, that's how the Weather Service will confirm how much the snow ratio is. They will melt that snow. So if 10 inches of snow fell, it would probably equal somewhere in that 1 inch range. So when it melts, you're going to get an inch of liquid out of it. If it's that 10-to-1 ratio, sometimes it's 8 to 10. Look at this. There comes that other push. Oh, yeah. Let's get this snowpack up. Let's do that. That was Southwest Iowa, 18 to 24 inches. All right, so here we go. Gray 7 2798 working for a subscriber here. Future subscriber. So this is going to be all the way through Monday. So this is going out far. So this is not gospel. I can take it back a little bit just to see. We can work on that a little bit. But this is through Monday. And I mean, a decent amount of snow, 4 to 8 inches. And then just on the southern end here in the higher elevations, 8 to 12 inches. This is through Monday, February 23rd. So we were just kind of playing a little bit. Again, I think the snow is coming for sure. It's just how much exactly. Howdy from Colorado. Interesting information. Thanks for your hard work. Your community weather watchers, YouTube team are very informative as well. Appreciate you all. Thank you for being a part of the team. Really appreciate that, and would love to hear how much snow that you guys get over the next couple of weeks. Again, we're locked in. This is it for us. Really through the first couple of days of March. This is what we're kind of talking about here. So a nice big pattern change. Alrighty, guys, I have to run because I have to do another streaming show for where I'm based out of Central Florida. Do me a favor. If you found this content helpful, hit the thumbs up button. This live stream. We do this every Monday, starting around 8:30 to 8:45, and we go until as far as I can. Again, I have my other show at 9:30 for our Florida people, but I like to do the national stuff to meet a bunch of people and talk about the crazy stuff that's going on right now. The name of the other channel is this. It's WKMG. Click Orlando. So if anybody, if I have anybody tuning in from Florida, that's where I'm headed next. WKMG, Click Orlando. We're going to talk a lot tonight about how the rainfall this weekend did take a nice chunk out of the Florida drought in the Sunshine State. So I'm heading over there to do my nightly stream, and I'm there every night, Monday through Friday, 9:30 Eastern time. And I am on this page with all of our fellow weather nerds out there and weather spotters. Couldn't do this without you. I appreciate you. If you found this live stream helpful, hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you in tomorrow's video. If you're interested in that, hit subscribe. I'll see you soon, guys. Thanks so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it.